Hey! When you shoot these videos back to back, by the way, you get a little bored, so you get a little creative with how you say hello. So hopefully I didn't scare you all off. Another question from LinkedIn. How do you know if a candidate is good or bad from a resume? So we always say the rule of three. 3 red flags or 3 green lights get you to the next step if we're reviewing your resume. If you cold send me the resume and I don't really know what you're looking for, you're not even going to get it checked out. It doesn't make sense to me. But that being said, if we're going to use a sales position, if you are looking for a salesperson, there's definite red flags to pay attention to. We'll have another video, I'm sure, about 3 green lights, but for now, 3 red flags. So for a salesperson, tenure, we do jump around. It's just who we are. I was in sales forever and I couldn't hold the job. You guys know that. Watch some of my other videos on the Miss Kaylin blog and you'll kind of learn more about my story there. But typically 18 months in a role. And I don't necessarily mean with a company. So look for people, if you've been with a company for 18 months, 18 to 24 months, and you take a higher position in that company, or you get a better pay plan in that company, or you take on responsibilities, or you lead a team, that's not a red flag. You can stay at a company for a while. But after 18 to 24 months, if you're stagnant in that role, it's kind of a red flag. If you're suddenly looking and it's a company in general that seems to be doing really, really well, so, you know, a company that's performing well on the Dow, the NASDAQ, whatever we want to gauge it off of, maybe you've heard of them before and they've got a really strong place in the market, but this employee has nothing but, it seems like they're running, maybe they've applied to several of your job ads, probably a red flag if they can't cut it out for a company seemingly like that, that's not doing layoffs, etc. Another giant red flag for me is if there's a ton of grammatical and spelling errors. So for salespeople, it's a little different because typically we're not the best with spelling and grammar. That's why we have Grammarly and spell check. But you got to think of it like, how would they show themselves to a client? Because that's how they are showing themselves to us. And so if you don't like the way they present themselves, they're not going to present themselves the way that they want to your client. Now, there are things you can train, but for the most part, you can't train character. So it's also in how they act afterwards. So we'll get into some green lights about how they act after they send the resume. That's some pretty strong visual cues on if it works for you or not. Behavioral cues, not visual, I'm sorry. And yeah, so hopefully that sums it up a little bit for you. So look for spelling, look for grammar, look for, they always have to have an increase in responsibilities or structure or team or pay. And if they're coming from a really good company that you have heard strong things about that people are generally happy at, just kind of pause and know that there must be something to that story. Good luck.